Hey everyone, today we're diving into a really fascinating blueprint for a new kind of AI system. This is something that doesn't just answer your questions, but could actually help you build the reality you really want. So let's start with a question we've all asked ourselves, right? Why is it so hard to get what we truly want? Whether you're trying to start a business or find the right place to live or make a huge career change, there's almost always this giant gap between what we dream of and what actually happens. And honestly, it can be super frustrating. And according to the source material, this whole frustration really boils down to three main problems. First, a lot of the time, our desires are kind of vague. We don't know exactly what we want. Second, even if we do, the path to get there feels like a total mess, right? It's just unclear. And third, we're usually trying to figure this all out completely on our own. But here's the big what if. What if AI could be the thing that bridges that gap? This is the whole promise of what the source calls an intent OS. It's a system that's designed from the ground up to close that gap and turn these fuzzy wishes into real, coordinated action in the world. So how in the world does it work? Well, it all starts with an AI agent. But you've got to forget about simple chatbots or assistants. Think of this as a whole new kind of partner, a strategic partner. So this agent, it really plays three very distinct roles. First, it's an interpreter. It helps you take a vague idea, like, I just want a better life, and turns it into real, concrete goals. Second, it's a teacher. It subtly teaches you a new way of thinking, one based on aligning with others instead of competing against them. And finally, it's an orchestrator, the one who actually connects you with other people to make things happen. And this quote it nails the shift in thinking here. We're moving way beyond AI as just a simple tool that does what you tell it. In this model, the AI becomes your personal philosopher and your strategist. It helps you refine your thinking, upgrade your strategy, and literally see the world in a new way. Okay, so what would it actually feel like to use a system like this? Well, the whole journey is laid out in a really clear five-phase path. Let's take a look at how that unfolds. It all kicks off with onboarding, where that AI agent helps you get totally crystal clear on what you actually want. Then you move into formation, where that desire gets structured into something measurable, an intent. And then you have waiting, activation, and finally optimization. You can see it's this logical journey from a simple idea all the way to a real-world result. Now, here's where it gets really, really interesting. The system puts a huge focus on the waiting phase. And we all know, waiting is usually the absolute worst part. It's where you lose all your momentum, you get discouraged, you give up. But this system is designed to completely transform that experience. Just look at this contrast. The old way of waiting is just frustrating. It's stagnation, uncertainty, feeling totally alone. But this new idea of intelligent waiting is a complete game changer. It's an active phase where the system is showing you progress, building momentum by connecting you with others who want the same thing, and just deepening that alignment. And that's the key takeaway. Waiting is no longer wasted time. Every single moment you spend waiting is actually being used to make your position stronger, to refine your goals, and to build up that collective energy that's needed for a breakthrough. It becomes progress. Okay, so that's the journey for one person. But the real power of a system like this is how it scales. So let's zoom out for a second and see how this thing works at, a market level. So the system's evolution happens in these stages. In the beginning, with just a few thousand users, it's a really powerful personal coach. But as it grows, it starts to develop this network intelligence, right? It sees trends, it matches people. And then once you get past 1 million users, it can actually start creating markets. It can trigger real-world supply to meet all of that coordinated demand. And to make that a little more concrete, just imagine this example. Say 10,000 people in one city all declared their intent to find affordable housing. Suddenly, that's not just a bunch of individual wishes anymore. That is a critical mass threshold. It's a clear, undeniable market signal that can get developers, investors, and even city planners to act. And of course, this is all powered by a classic data flywheel. It's a simple loop. The more users who declare their intents, the better the system gets at predicting what will work. And better predictions, they lead to faster and more successful activations, which, you guessed it, attracts even more users. It's this self-reinforcing cycle that just gets smarter and smarter with every person who joins. So when you put all these pieces together, you've got the agent, the user journey, and this massive scaling engine, you end up with some really profound shifts in how we even approach our goals. So the first big shift is this move from search to declaration. Think about it. Instead of endlessly Googling for solutions that might already exist, you just declare the outcome you want, and the system starts to organize the world, the resources, the people, to make it happen for you. The second big shift is from competition to alignment. You know, our traditional model is built on the idea that we're all fighting over the same scarce resources. This system works on a totally different principle, that by aligning our goals, we can unlock opportunities that were just impossible for any one of us to achieve on our own. And finally, we move away from guesswork and towards certainty. Instead of just taking a shot in the dark and hoping for the best, the system uses data from thousands of other similar intents to give you a clear probability of success and a real, defined path to get you there. And you've got to see what this does to the user's mindset. It completely transforms people from being reactive and feeling isolated to being highly intentional and aligned with others. It builds this incredible confidence and a kind of strategic patience because you know you're not alone. You're part of a larger, coordinated movement. And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. An Intent OS isn't just another app that helps you navigate the world as it is today. Its ambition is so much bigger than that. It's to use our collective human desire as a force to actively shape and organize the world into what we want it to become. Which, brings us to one final provocative thought. If a system like this actually existed right now, one that removed all those barriers of uncertainty and isolation, what's the first big, audacious thing that you would declare? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.